Hey there, Patriots. Welcome back to the front lines. This is Death Watch here to give you guys more intel so you can update your personal armory and fight back against the fake news media machine. And today we're going to be talking about illegal immigration because when I was going through all these articles trying to figure out a way to recite all this information back to you, the audience, I've come to the conclusion that Democrats are really just trying to, with all this illegal immigration that they're allowing into it, rebranding these illegal immigrants as asylum seekers or undocumented migrants, right? What they're really trying to do is to create essentially a serf class, right? These people are being used for political tools, right? Or to just be exploited by bigger corporations to hire these people as workers. However, everybody knows you need a social security number. You need some type of identification in order to get any type of insurance, any type of home loans or anything like that. You need some type of documentation to have a bank account open here in America, right? If you are here illegally, you can't get access to any of that if you don't already have access to it in like a home country that you're coming from, right? You're just you're not even a second class citizen. You're a serf. You're a serf class of people, right? You are essentially indentured servants, okay, to whoever your employers are or whoever Democrat policy that you're under, right? And at the end of the day, it's just seems like there's really no purpose to continue having these people here other than for political tokenization, right? Political tools, what these people are, right? And so you have a lot of protests breaking out against a lot of these illegal immigrants encampments, right? Is what they are, right? We talked about this before, where the Biden administration was under fire for openly bringing in, busing illegal immigrants, right? Again, rebranding them as asylum seekers and then shipping them up north and then dispersing them amongst Baltimore, D.C., New York, and Chicago, right? And you also have black Chicago residents openly saying that, hey, why are these people being dropped off in our neighborhoods, right? Taking away our city resources. So this isn't a Republican only problem, right? Republicans aren't the ones coming out and saying, hey, this is an issue. You also have black residents coming out in Chicago saying this is an issue. You also have illegal immigrants saying, hey, this is all a bunch of chaos, right? The way that the type of living conditions that we're being forced to live in, this is crazy. So all around, it's a crap show. Okay, so let's get into this. New Yorkers protest Eric Adams' tent city for illegal immigrants. Community leader Curtis Sliwa was arrested. On Wednesday, the former Republican nominee for New York City mayor and founder of the Guardian Angels, Curtis Sliwa, was arrested while protesting against a new tent city in Queens, New York, for illegal immigrants. Video footage from Timcast reporter Elad showed Sliwa and his supporters protesting in front of Creedmoor Hospital, where a tent shelter for migrants had been set up and opened Tuesday on the grounds of the Creedmoor Psychiatric Center in an attempt to address the flood of illegal immigrants that have come to the Big Apple. The new site is expected to house at approximately 1,000 adults. Okay, so protesters chanted outside the area, "No Tent City," and carried signs criticizing City Mayor Eric Adams, um, whose sanctuary city suffers under the Biden administration's failed border policy. Some 10,000 illegal immigrants flooded into the city every month. More than 100,000 have come to New York City already in 2023. So here are videos of the actual protests and Curtis being arrested along with his fellows. Silva and the other protesters, including one elderly man with a walker, were restrained with a zip tie and taken away by NYPD after refusing law enforcement's orders to get out of the middle of the street. In a press conference earlier this month, Adams said there's no more room for them to stay in the city, referring to the illegal immigrants. Our next phase, this is a quote, our next phase of this strategy is not that it's now that we ran out of room, we have to figure out how we're going to localize the inevitable. There's no more room indoors. Here's why. Here's where we are right now. Yes, there were people sleeping in cooling vans. There were people along the sidewalk. We have to localize this madness, right? We have to figure out what we're gonna do with these tent cities all over the city. Okay, essentially what he says, right? According to Fox 5, the Roosevelt Hotel, which has been used to house illegal immigrants, is at full capacity. Pictures and videos have shown the illegal immigrants sleeping on the sidewalk outside the hotel. So again, what are we really going to do with these people? They're just taking these, again, these people are here illegally. they rebranded them as asylum seekers. They brought them into the country and are like, oh, well, we're going to, give them court dates, right? Give them court dates so they can come in and give their give their testimony as to why they deserve asylum here in America, right? However, is that really going to happen? No, it's not. It's not really going to happen. It's going to keep getting pushed back and back and back every single election cycle. However, Democrats are just going to continue to vote for this crap because they don't care. They openly sit down and say, "Hey, there's a problem going on in this city." However, I'm too stupid to actually vote for different politicians who openly tell me that they're going to fix this solution. Instead, I'm going to vote for the exact same people I've been voting for the past few decades, who keep telling me that there is no war in Bossing say, right? Essentially, what's going on here, right? And another issue that we're starting to see is that in New York City, this is more current. New York County begs Eric Adams to stop sending illegal immigrants as crimes are on the rise. Okay, and so essentially what happened is a guy from Congo tried to did assault a woman in a hotel room. Right, two migrants arrested for crimes have local officials outraged in Erie County, New York. The county will no longer accept migrants from New York City. One of the migrants arrested is being accused of attacking a woman in front of a 3-year-old child. Right, let's play this clip.
Yeah, good morning, Marky. Those two migrant sex crime arrests have sparked outrage from local officials in Western New York. Frustrated leaders in Erie County are now putting a pause on accepting any more migrants, at least until security efforts show up. This is coming after authorities in Cheektowaga arrested 22-year-old Kindu Jinsi on Friday on charges of sex abuse and unlawful imprisonment. The migrant is from the Republic of Congo and is being accused of attacking an employee inside a hotel. The victim was working for an organization assisting asylum seekers at a hotel being used to shelter migrants arriving from New York City. The hotel sits across the street from a residential neighborhood. Cheektowaga Police Chief Brian Gold is calling for the hotel to be shut down as a shelter for migrants.
I'm asking that for the immediate discontinued use of the Best Western Hotel on Dingen Street. The hotel is located in a residential neighborhood and is causing not only safety concerns to nearby residents, but also quality of life issues.
Right, so you heard it there, right? Again, this hotel, the Roosevelt Hotel, housing a bunch of illegal immigrants. A woman was there to help the asylum seekers. However, this guy from Congo decided that, oh, I'm just going to assault this woman here, right? And now the police chief is saying that, hey, we no longer need to be, we no longer need to be bringing in illegal immigrants, right? Because this has become a safety concern for everybody, right? And then on top of that, illegal immigrants say New York City is chaos, right? Not what they expected. And it's again, I'm not gonna really read this article because it's like, oh, what do you expect? You guys are real. A lot of you people are not really asylum seekers. Your countries are not at war. Your country's run by socialist dictators who it's the fault of the previous generation of people who lived in these countries who voted for that policy in the first place, right? Your own countrymen generations ago voted for these crazy dictators to come into power, or you guys have allowed corruption to flow in your country, and now you guys are fleeing and trying to come here. And again, Democrats are like, oh, we're just gonna take these people, house them in different areas, use taxpayer dollars to house these people, to take care of these people. However, what is going to be the end game for any of this, right? There really isn't going to be an end game for these people, right? They're just going to be a serf class. They're really just going to be a serf class or just a indentured servant class. Okay, so Black Chicago residents furious that migrants are being dropped off in their neighborhoods, taking city resources. The Black Chicago residents ripped a proposed migrant center Friday, citing a depletion of city resources for their community by accommodating the migrants, as well as the potential of non-citizens voting in local elections. The residents are protesting and taking legal action to prevent Chicago from housing migrants in a closed down high school and two other local locations in the South Shore neighborhood. ABC 7 Chicago reported the city is seeing an influx of more than 200 migrants a day and has taken in 8,000 since August, prompting the city to declare an emergency as migrants have taken to sleeping in police station lobbies. Quote, there is also due process issue, right? Said attorney Frank Avila. According to ABC7 Chicago, quote, we want the refugees and the asylum seekers and migrants to come in, but we have areas across the city where they can go, not centralized in one community, right? So she says it right here, right? We want the refugees and asylum seekers and migrants to come in. However, we don't want them here, right? Okay, but we have areas across the city, right? Across the city, not directly in the city with the rest of us. We have it across the city where they can all go, right? We don't want to actually see these people or interact with these people or really have to deal with these people on the day to day, right? We want these people here, but we don't actually want to be in sight of these people. Really, what they're saying here, right? Change my mind. Okay, look at Martha's Vineyard, right? Ron DeSantis said, "Hey, I'm not going to allow you guys to just dump a bunch of illegal immigrants in my state." What do? He shipped them all off to Martha's Vineyard, where they have a big, huge sign. Right, these people are big, massive Democrat donors, rich people. Have a huge sign in front of their neighborhood where it says "Immigrants are welcome here." Ron DeSantis says, "Okay, bet." Puts them all on a bus, ships them up to Martha's Vineyard. Guess what happens? Everybody in Martha's Vineyard immediately put them back on a bus and then sent them their way to a military base, right? Because again, immigrants are welcome here, but not those type of immigrants, right? We want immigrants who come here and share, who actually most likely immigrated here legally and actually share our far left progressive Democrat views. We don't want just a bunch of anybody's just showing up to our, into our rich, very, vibrant neighborhoods, right? You get out of here with that crap, right? And so, you can't sit here and say, well, it's only the Republicans who are pushing back against all this crap because they're, isms and phobics. It's like, no, it's all around. People are just like, hey, we don't want this crap. Right, crime is on the rise because of these individuals. Right, you're seeing these people do things, and it's making it unsafe because people don't like seeing a bunch of homeless people just sitting out on the streets. You don't know these people. We don't know who they are, why they're here. So it's unsafe, right? And so a lot of people like to try to play this game of the Trump, right, especially during the Trump administration, right? Because Obama is credited for deporting the most illegal immigrants, right? He was called the deporter in chief. However, they decided to change, in the later years of the Obama administration, they decided to change up the game of how they would deport people, right? And so when Trump came into office, all of a sudden, when he goes and says, hey, we're just going to do the exact same thing that Obama did in his administration when it comes to deporting illegal immigrants, all of a sudden Democrats decided to flip on it on the issue and say, no, anybody who is for deportating the deportation of illegal immigrants, you're an ism and a phobic. Like what's going on here, right? You have them calling out the camps, right? The migrant detention centers, right? Who built the cages, Joe? Right? Trump asked Joe on stage during the 2020 debates, who built the cages? It was the Obama administration, right? Okay. The Bush administration and the Clinton administration had no problems with deporting illegal immigrants, right? For some reason, when Trump got into office, all of a sudden it is no, you can't deport people. Anybody who deports any illegal immigrants are isms and phobics. Like it's like why? How we live in a complete clown world, right? You guys were perfectly fine when Obama was doing it. Trump gets into office, just say, hey, instead of doing the whole catch and release situation where you would arrest, you find somebody who's here illegally, you arrest them, put their name, their finger, put their name in the books, fingerprint them, ID them, and then say, okay, your court date is here, show back up, and then we'll decide whether or not we're going to deport you. What happened? Very few of these people show back up because it's like, you guys are going to deport me because I know I came into this country illegally and I don't have a real reason as to why I should be here, right? Why would I show back up just for you to deport me after I walked this whole long journey just to get back into your country, right? You're stupid, right? And yeah, they're stupid for thinking that these people are going to show back up, right? They didn't. Okay, so Trump just says, okay, instead of us playing this catch and release problem, we'll just deport them and also make a big, beautiful wall, right? And keep also to make it harder for these people to get back into the country. Nope, sorry. Democrats immediately flipped on that issue, say, nope, you can't do that. Anybody who's for it is a ism or a phobic. Therefore, no way, we're not going to fund this. And we're going to have open borders because there's no such thing as borders. There's no such thing as an illegal immigrant. Everybody is welcome here in America, right? It's like, dude, you guys are openly sabotaging this country. There is no other way to point this out because this is from the Telegraph, right? You have mass immigration is ruining America, right? Two U.S. Congresswomen, one Republican and one Democrat, right? Whoever this Republican is, by the way, figure out who they are, vote them out of office, right? They shouldn't be in office, right? Passing this type of bill. Recently introduced a bill that will grant most illegal immigrants a reprieve from deportation and eventually offer them a path to citizenship, while also implementing token border security measures. They dubbed it the Dignity Act. But there's nothing dignified about offering the same old failed proposal that have broken our immigration system almost beyond repair. Americans have been waiting for a comprehensive immigration reform since 1986 when President Ronald Reagan granted amnesty to most illegal immigrants in the country, roughly 3 million at the time, in exchange for lawmakers' promises to secure the border and penalize employers who knowingly hire unauthorized workers. Congress quickly renegade on these promises, right? 4 decades and 8 amnesties later, the border has never been less secure, with employers continuing to hire illegal workers with near impunity. And in such circumstances, it's no surprise that the illegal immigrant population has ballooned to roughly 12 million. Better immigration policy is possible and very much needed, yet both political parties have failed to deliver reforms that promote economic fairness for American workers, especially the most vulnerable in our society, while safeguarding our natural resources for future generations. Voters across all demographics and ideological lines recognize the system is not working. Satisfaction with the current levels of immigration in America have slumped to the lowest levels in a decade and broadly support such an approach, right? So, illegal immigration into the United States, which has its share of loopholes and issues to address, have accelerated over the last 4 decades since 1990, when Congress raised immigration levels to the United States, estimated around 1 million legal immigrants annually. The annual number is double any level recommended by congressional appointed panels and doesn't even include millions of additional guest workers, visas, overstays, or illegal border crossers, right? Federal law enforcement officers have already encountered 1.6 million illegal immigrants at the southern border this fiscal year, one pace to surpass last year's record of 2.4 million. Right, according to the Center for Immigration Studies, the foreign-born population could reach 51.7 million by the end of President Biden's first term, constituting 15.5% of the total U.S. population, making it the largest share in history. Right, and so there's a lot of theories that goes on about why that is, and I'm not going to get into those theories, right? That's for you to figure out for yourselves and kind of look, research, and come to your own conclusions on that, right? But really, my conclusion is that it's essentially just creating a secondary serf class, right? This is serf class 2.0, or essentially a indentured servitude class 2.0, right? It's easier again for these companies. It's easier for these companies to come out and hire these people, right? However, these people don't get all the benefits of the average American citizen because if you work, you get a W-2. You get to file for tax returns depending on your country, country or state, right? Essentially, every state is supposed to act as its own independent country, right? In a way, right? This is why we have essentially a decentralized system. It's what we're supposed to have. We're not always supposed to go to the federal government for everything. States' rights is the name of the game, right? We are the United States of America, right? Each state is supposed to act as its own independent body, right? But we're starting to see less and less of that as time goes on. Okay, but overall, again, the Democrats are using these people as political tools, and and for brownie points to sit here and virtue that hey, they're all good and happy with immigration and all this other crap, right? But it's like, what are you really going to do with these people, right? You're just housing them, allowing them to live in a really terrible conditions. First of all, they're living in terrible conditions. You're using taxpayer money to fund all this crap when we already have, again, homeless people in our own country who need this aid. And you're just not doing anything about it. Instead, you're giving it to people who are not our countrymen, who are not, supposed to be here, right? Really not supposed to be here, right? Our taxpayer money should be going to funding American citizens and their needs and our security and all in our well-being, right? Not being shipped off to third world countries, not being shipped off to some other war-torn countries, not being used to house so-called asylum seekers, right? No, they're illegal immigrants. No, it should be going to ensuring that the future of American born citizens have everything that they need to continue living a healthy life, because at the end of the day, that's what helps America grow, not a bunch of people who have no right to be here, right? No investment, no right to be here in our country, right? So overall, it's just all around craziness. And again, I say this is just they're just creating these people are not really going to get helped. They're just being brought into the country under the ID of asylum seekers. They're never going to really get approved for being here for asylum, for asylum. They're just going to be here and being used as political tools. Things are just going to keep getting more worse, and these people are going to be treated as a second, a serf class, right? And this is going to slowly displace average American workers and slowly, create more chaos and violence in the streets, right? Because again, these rich people, all these rich Democrats, all these rich politicians, they're far removed from all this crap, right? They don't want them in. They're gonna sit here and say, hey, don't let these people create their camps in our neighborhoods, in our areas, right? Again, Martha's Vineyard. We're gonna have them shipped off to somewhere else, right? We're gonna sit here and virtual signal that we care about these people, but they're not gonna. We don't want to see them. We don't want to see them. We don't want to interact with them. We want them far removed from us, right? And but at the same time, they'll sit here and say immigrants are welcome here, right? Because conservatives are just isms and phobics. That's why they hate immigrants. However, look at what they do. Look at what they do. They're literally just taking these people, tossing them in hotels, and now people, the common man, is feeling is feeling unsafe around these people, right? They feel unsafe in the streets because they don't know who these people are. These people are some of these people are committing crimes, and it's just all around chaotic, right? This is really hurting the working class American with all these policies, and the rich people live in their gated communities far removed from any of these social plights. It's as simple as that, right? So, like always, stay safe, stay sane, be vigilant, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you, Patriots, on the battlefield.